and up-to-date news. Remember to like, share and follow for Tobago news and current affairs information at your fingertips.
Cathedral Credit Union is celebrating big. Get up to $81,000 at just 0.8% interest with our anniversary loan. And because Christmas is in the air, we're spreading cheer with up to $60,000 at only 1%. Visit cathedralcutt.com or call 235-6947 today. Cathedral Credit Union. Member owned, member focused.
DHA spends $10 million to retrofit a new Tobago airport terminal building. PNM claims government weaponizing SOE against citizens, and Friends push GoFundMe campaign to help crime victim. Good evening, Tobago. I am Zuba Samuel. Thank you for tuning in to the Channel 5 News for Thursday, June 25th, 2026. $10 million has been released to outfit the terminal building at the A&R Robinson International Airport. The disclosure was made by Chief Secretary Foley Augustine during this contribution to the debate on the budget estimates 2026 to 2027. Augustine said the funding will go towards equipping the terminal as part of ongoing efforts to improve the facility. He also provided details on the planned layout of the building. The Chief Secretary said the upgrades are expected to enhance the functionality of the airport terminal and improve the experience for passengers.
Of Finance has already released about $10 million towards this project and ensuring that the build-out is possible in the new airport.
Augustine also described the plan for the terminal's interior.
And what you see now, Mr. President Officer, is what we propose as the marketplace. This is where the Benny and Cambran people are going to be. And you see those lovely taro leaves above, what we call dashing leaves? It's to be reflective of our culture and blue food. And you can see the backdrop that there's a lovely tourism office there that will be run by TTAL as well, also being built out, and that has started. We also, you saw earlier on the image of what the check-in area will look like. This will be themed after Tobago's heritage. So it's not just a mundane, ordinary check-in, but it's a check-in area that is reflective of the vibrancy of this island.
The Chief Secretary also described other areas of the terminal, including one area called the Main Ridge Forest.
So an area reflective of the Main Ridge Rainforest. Main Ridge Rainforest, before you get to either your general check-in area or to the marketplace where the actual vendors will be. The theatre is also doing all of this. We're investing in our tourism product. This island, we can't tell people come to this place, and when they come, the place look kaba. When they come, the place must look decent and proper. This is what the domestic lounge will look like, where you wait to take your flight to get to Piaco. And this area is themed Buku Reef. So representative for Buku should be proud that there's a part of this themed after Boko. And the general area upstairs is themed after this cotton tree. And we are providing.
The terminal building, including the documents, warranties, and the certifications, were officially handed over to the Airport Authority and the Ministry of Transport in the presence of the Tobago House of Assembly representatives on June 14, 2026. Under the People's National Movement, the practical completion ceremony was held on March 15, 2025. Chief Secretary also announced that funds have been allocated to market the Toronto flight, which he announced during the post-budget news conference on Monday.
I announced after the last sitting, Mr. Presiding Officer, that we are closing in on an arrangement with Caribbean Airlines for direct Toronto-Tobago flight. And we are at the point where we have the agreement from Caribbean Airlines. We, on our end, have signed that agreement. The Secretary of Finance have already released $2.5 million to TTAL to help with the marketing of that flight. $4 million released to TTAL to prepare for the marketing and MRG commitments where Caribbean Airlines is concerned. I am meeting with the Minister of Transportation on Friday concerning this matter, and sometime thereafter the date of the flight will be announced. The purpose of this is that we need to open up Tobago to the world.
Augustine also says he took note of the debate which occurred after the announcement of the Toronto flight was announced. He reminds that one strategy cannot fix tourism.
There's no one fix to our problem with the tourism industry. We need direct flights. We need to fix our room stock. And let's pause. We need to fix our room stock and have quality rooms. There's no secret there. And I'm glad I did not say it. But the head of the Chamber of Commerce in Tobago, he's the one who said it, who spoke about the absence of standards and the quality of the room. And the question is it the THA that's supposed to go and fix everybody's room? Or is that a private sector thing?
Augustine says the Tobago House of Assembly wants boutique hotels to be established in Tobago between 75 and 150 rooms. He repeated his stance that the purchase of Manta Lodge was a poor economic decision. The announcement of more flights was made at the post-budget news conference on Monday by Augustine. Augustine also provided greater clarity concerning contractors on the Riseland project, noting that California Stucco Company is the main contractor on the project.
Yes, there is a large Trinidad contractor here who is building using his funds. But you know who's doing all that work? Small Tobago contractors, not even medium, micro Tobago contractors are doing this work. In fact, the contractor is just putting down the foundation, putting down the steel frame structure, and our local contractors are doing the block work, doing the masonry work. They have tiling, they have electrical work, plumbing work, carpentry work. This is an example of what must happen in our space.
Augustine says California Stucco is expected to deliver the Riseland project by the end of year.
Riseland, the contractor, is expected to provide 50 units completed by December, but at this rate will be closer to 80 units completed by the end of the month of December.
Augustine also gave an update on the Adventure Housing project.
We also have starting Adventure Housing. The earthworks are just where we at with Adventure, and you should start seeing the build works at Adventure in Plymouth happening soon. I want to give a commitment to the people of Plymouth, who every time I walk Plymouth, they complain that the THA built this annex to their community, which was supposed to expand their community, and everybody is living there except their people from Plymouth. And the people of Plymouth must have an opportunity to live in their expanded community as well. It's about protecting indigenous cultures and protecting indigenous communities. So the earthwork is more or less completed, and we are ready to begin the second phase of Adventure, which will expand the housing in Adventure.
In May 2023, THA relaunched the Riseland project. At a March 2026 news conference, Secretary Ricky Jofield says Riseland and Adventure projects cost $280 million. He noted that Riseland cost $141.9 million, and former Minority Leader Kelvin Morris had raised objections to a Trinidad contractor being awarded the contract rather than Tobago contractors. Police have informed that one person of interest is in custody in connection with the brazen attempted June 22nd robbery of the ATM at Supreme Plaza in Plymouth. According to Senior Superintendent Rodil Kirk, others remain at large, but investigations are ongoing to bring the perpetrators to justice. The attempted robbery at the First Citizens Bank ATM on Plymouth Main Road took place in the early morning hours of June 24th. Thieves' use of a stolen backhoe to crash into the ATM and attempt to pull the vault out of the building. However, the attempt failed after the backhoe sustained damage during the break-in. The thieves were unable to load the ATM into the stolen truck and left empty-handed. First Citizens Bank has indicated the ATM has been decommissioned and are directing their customers to use other ATMs. More news after the break.
Credit Union.
Today, you can make your goals unfold, go get it. Today, you can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. Today, you can get the help you need to succeed. Run Credit Union, you can believe that you can achieve it. Today, you can live that dream, pull up to the job and survive your wheels. Run Credit Union, yes you can, yes you can.
Come in and live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
Welcome to the speed round of getting money right. Let's begin. Name some of the red flags associated with an investment scam.
Pressure tactics to invest.
Correct.
Promise of money if you bring friends.
Correct.
Request for personal information.
Correct. Bonus question. What is the penalty for operating a pyramid or Ponzi scheme?
$10 million and 10 years in prison.
Correct. Well done. The scores are even, so we go to our tiebreaker question. You receive money in your account from an investment company and they tell you to transfer it to a third account. Does that sound right?
I think about it, and that not right.
Congratulations, you tinker! Getting Money Right is brought to you by the TTSEC. Visit investigateTT.com to access free learning resources and check the TTSEC for a list of registered individuals and securities. The Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. You invest, we protect, everyone benefits.
Hey, it's you. Come in. Long time I see you. This station pumping. Ready for children party. Mommy! Jay, you can't go nowhere with these children. And you know you can't depend on Kevin neither Steven to see about them. Yes. Total waste. So I supposed to stay home whole time? Jada is 12. She could see about that. You just leave Jada to see about Kia and Kayla. I thought it's your mother or your sister. Who? Them always busy. Jada could handle that. She cooking and cleaning a long time. And the next two, better know what time it is. It's only me, you know. I will talk to my mother. She just home these days. She will make sure the children okay. Alright. Let me see the moves for later.
Before you ramage, make sure the children okay. Call 996 to report all child abuse now. A message from the Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome back. The Opposition People's National Movement, PNM, has accused the United National Congress, UNC-led government, of using the state of emergency SOE to suppress democratic freedoms rather than solely combat criminal activity. Speaking at a press conference on June 25th, Opposition MP for Port of Spain South, Keith Scotland, alleged that citizens are being detained for expressing views critical of the government, despite assurances that the SOE was intended to target gang violence and other serious criminal activity.
The concept, therefore, of ruling and governing through institutions and the general applicability of the law has been eroded. There's been no strengthening, members of the media, Trinidad and Tobago, of any institutions to improve policies. In fact, there have been a weakening of institutions. And what you have found now is that although the state of emergency was done initially according to the rationale given to Her Excellency to stymie gang activity and serious crime, what we have found happening now is a focus on individual dissenters, persons who are expressing views that are contrary to the government, and the use of the state of emergency regulation powers to silence citizens.
Scotland claimed that Trinidad and Tobago has spent nearly 80% of the time since the UNC assumed office under a state of emergency. He urged that the government is using its power granted under Section 11 of the SOE regulations against citizens rather than focusing exclusively on criminal elements.
This regulation has been weaponized. No person shall endeavor, whether orally or otherwise, to influence public opinion in a manner likely to be prejudicial to public safety. We now have in Trinidad and Tobago persons being charged under this regulation. This must cause worry. Media, as it relates to freedom of expression, the freedom of thought.
Scotland said the public was only informed during the mid-year review that an additional $500 million had been allocated for police officers' overtime payment. He questioned why the government had not disclosed the full cost of continuing the SOE and called for greater transparency in the use of the state's resources. Scotland also raised concerns about the impact that the extended emergency period is having on police officers, who have been required to work increased hours. The Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, LATT, is questioning the legality and scope of the government's continued state of emergency and recently enacted Emergency Powers Prohibition of Public Protest and Demonstrations Order 2026. In a statement issued on June 25th, LATT said, while it acknowledges the serious security threats that led to the state of emergency declared on March 2nd, emergency powers do not provide unlimited authority to restrict constitutional freedoms granted to citizens. The association pointed specifically to the new order prohibiting protests within 500-meter radius of 15 government and judicial locations, arguing that restricting demonstrations is so far from institution citizens seek to address may undermine the effectiveness of a peaceful protest and raises questions about whether the measures is proportionate and reasonably justified under the Constitution. LATT also references reports of arrest which may fall outside the designated legal zones, warning that unclear enforcement could discourage citizens from exercising their rights to free expression and a peaceful assembly. The association is now calling on the government to review the order, publicly justify the restrictions imposed, and provide evidence showing why the continued extension of the state of emergency remains necessary while ensuring constitutional rights are protected. In other news, Brian Manning, the People's National Movement PNM MP for San Fernando East, has publicly questioned the proposal put forward by Felicia Thomas for the government to settle outstanding back pay owed to public servants partly through non-cash benefits. In a statement posted on Facebook, Manning raised the concerns over the suggestion, arguing that public servants are already facing major financial changes, including the increase in the retirement age from 60 to 65 and the planned rise in the National Insurance System NIS contributions to 19.2% next year. The Member of Parliament questioned whether workers would be satisfied with receiving non-cash compensation under these conditions and challenged whether this was what public servants were originally promised when negotiations began. Manning's comments comes after news broke that PSA has sent a counter-proposal to the Chief Personal Officer, Dr. Darrell Dindial, for a smaller non-cash payment, such as food cards and fuel vouchers. Reports say the offer on the table is for a larger non-cash payment to offset the back pay owed to the public servants. Thomas has repeatedly condemned the PNM and appeared on the United National Congress UNC platforms and social events. In other news, Chief Secretary Fali Augustin expressed condolences and support for the people of Venezuela in the aftermath of 2 earthquakes that struck the country.
On behalf of the people of Tobago and the Tobago House of Assembly, I wish to stand in solidarity at this time with the citizens of Venezuela who yesterday evening encountered a catastrophic earthquake in Caracas. Well, 2 within quick succession, and that has led to the loss of significant life, injuries, and destruction of public and private property.
A 7.1 and a 7.5 earthquake struck in quick succession near the coast of Venezuela at about 10:05 p.m. on June 25th, triggering a tsunami warning for Venezuela and some islands in the Caribbean. The tsunami warning was later cancelled. President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, has declared a state of emergency for the country, and President of the National Assembly, Jorge Rodriguez, says at least 188 people have been killed and more than 1,500 injured.
We do have within our borders significant numbers of residents who are citizens of that country as migrants living here. I think it is prudent that before I get into the substance of my presentation, that we do express condolences for those who have passed and certainly express support to the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Augustin spoke about the Venezuela situation before he began his contributions to the 2027 budget debate in the Assembly Legislature Tobago Assembly. Stay with us. More news after the break.
We is one family, Tobago Family and Friends. A healing concert honoring cultural icon Oscar B will be held on Sunday, 28th June, Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m., featuring gospel performances, conscious renditions, and Tobago's finest artists, honoring a cultural icon. Tobago Zone, Tobago's pride, Tobago's legend. Sunday 28th, Shaw Park Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Give from the heart or make your donations at the door. You can call 917-807-2119 or 7416143 or 759-6634. Presented by friends and family of Oscar B Committee in collaboration with Tobago-based partners. All proceeds will go towards Oscar B medical expenses and recovery. Don't miss it. All is one family. The healing concert for Oscarby, Sunday 28th June, Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m. Showtime 5 p.m.
Cathedral Credit Union is celebrating big. Get up to $81,000 at just 0.8% interest with our anniversary loan. And because Christmas is in the air, we're spreading cheer with up to $60,000 at only 1%. Visit cathedralcutt.com or call 235-6947 today. Cathedral Credit Union. Member owned, member focused.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Welcome back. A small act of kindness from a group of concerned friends has grown into community effort to help Timothy Johnson regain his independence and get back on his feet. Friends of Johnson recently started a GoFundMe campaign aimed at providing him with the support he needs as he works towards rebuilding his life and returning to the work he loves. The initiative was taken on by tour operator Terence Pitt, who stepped forward to create a fundraising page to help rally support. Pitt said the goal is not only to provide financial assistance, but to help Johnson regain stability and once again become self-sufficient. For those who know Johnson, the effort represents the power of compassion and community. By coming together, his friends hope to give him the encouragement and resources needed to move forward and continue pursuing his trade.
He was a fish vendor, so we're looking to see if we could get him a startup with a transportation, a van, and a cooler, and just some money where he could purchase his full sale of fish, just a start.
Johnson was an unintended victim of a drive-by shooting in which one man was killed and 3 others were injured. Pitt said Johnson was fortunate to survive the incident, describing him as someone who was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The GoFundMe account was created on June 21st, but Pitt said the campaign faced technical issues before becoming fully operational. He added that, so far, no donations have been received. The campaign organizer is now appealing to members of the public who may be willing to lend support and help Johnson take the next step towards independence. Meanwhile, the plight of amputee Timothy Johnson continues. He has been living on the beach outside the Starfish Hotel in Black Rock for the past 2 years. He lost his apartment when he couldn't pay his rent following a shooting incident on May 14, 2024.
But honestly, I want to feel like a normal human being, but bathing and sleeping by fish trees and things that, and have to go carry my clothes by someone to wash, and I basically, if I could get a place or something, that would be very good, That helped me out a lot of way. Then I could really start to really look for a job. Because it don't make sense that I really go to look for a job and I don't have a steady place to rest my head.
Johnson is appealing for help to get back on his feet.
After purchasing a bread and came out, I just heard some loud explosion. And after, well, I believe like I wasn't conscious at 100%, so like I tried getting up to run and, well, to move, and I realized that I couldn't really move. And the next time when I really was 100% conscious, I realized I was in the hospital.
Johnson said when he regained consciousness, his right leg below the knee was gone. He received a prosthetic limb in March 2026 from the Division of Health and Wellness, in addition to a 3-month public assistance grant, which expires at the end of June 2026. Johnson works part-time selling tickets for reef tours. Johnson says his 5 brothers and 4 sisters live in Trinidad and are unable to assist him. He says now all his efforts are focused on making ends meet. Concerns are being raised following the appointment of Rudolph Hanamji as the Chief Executive Officer of the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago, PSOTT. With one civic group requesting questions the potential direction of the organization under his leadership. In a statement issued on June 25th, Umar Abdullah, founder of the First Wave movement, said Hanamji's public profile as an LGBTQ+ activist and co-founder of Pride TT has sparked concerns about whether PSOTT will remain focused strictly on economic development or move towards broader social advocacy. Abdullah argued that PSOTT plays a significant role in influencing national economic policy, including investment priorities and trade, and said the public deserves clarity on how the organization intends to protect its economic mandate. The group is now calling for greater transparency and accountability, saying the appointment has raised wider questions about leadership, representation, and the future direction of the organization. First Wave Movement is a socio-political activist group led by prominent local figure Umar Abdullah, head of the Islamic Front. PSOTT has not yet publicly responded to the concerns. We would like to leave you with a light-hearted story about Career Day involving a 4-year-old. The future of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service got an early start recently, with 4-year-old Deputy Commissioner of Police Christian Devines paid a special visit to the Scarborough Police Station. Living up to the Tobago saying, bright and early before the sun can rise, Christian arrived ready for duty. With confidence beyond his years, he checked on his charges and ensured that the pillars of the strategic planning were being followed. He also had a clear message for officers. Community engagement matters, and everyone should play their part. After completing his station duties, Christian headed to Bright Horizon Preschool in Mount Mary, Scarborough, where Career Day activities were in full swing. While many children dream of becoming superheroes, Christian has already set his sights on the career in law enforcement. Inspired by his mother, Karima Guy, who is attached to the Scarborough Police Station, Christian hopes to one day wear the uniform and serve his community as a police officer. Although he may be a few years away from joining the service, Christian demonstrated leadership, enthusiasm, and a genuine passion for helping others. His visit brought smiles to the officers and classmates alike, proving that dedication to service can begin at any age. If Christian's Career Day performance is any indication, the future of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is not only bright, it is arriving bright at early age. The weather when we return. Welcome back. Tonight, significant Saharan dust concentration. Tonight, also hazy with the odd brisk shower and a light breeze. Persons sensitive to these atmospheric changes should take the necessary precautions. Tomorrow, significant concentration of Saharan dust. Persons sensitive to these atmospheric changes should take the necessary precautions. Hazy and breezy to windy with isolated shower. Warm and hazy night with a light breeze. Winds may gust at times. Seas moderate, occasionally rough. Winds east-northeast east 10 to 45 kilometers per hour. Waves in open waters 1.5 meters to 2 meters, and in sheltered areas 1 meter to 1.5 meter, occasionally choppy. High tide at 12:51 a.m. and 2:35 p.m. Low tides at 7:57 a.m. and 7:26 p.m. Sunrise at 5:42 a.m. and sunset at 6:29 a.m. Tomorrow's temperature should reach a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius and fall to 26 degrees Celsius. Let's recap our headlines. THA spends $10 million to retrofit a new Tobago airport terminal building. PNM claims government weaponizing SOE against citizens, and Friends push GoFundMe campaign to help crime victim. That does it for us tonight at the Channel 5 News Desk. I am Zoba Samuel saying have a good night and stay safe.